Alright, so in the last video I noticed a bug we are facing. Let me show you. So when we on this, the first time it works, but when you die it doesn't work the next time. So let's fix that first. We'll go to HUD and graph. Now we are doing it once but we are not resetting it. So when this is done, we can plug it into reset, so you can do it next time as well. Compile and save. So now in this video we are going to work on the player for his reset position. So let's do that. Let's give more space here. Okay, so we add custom event. We will call it reset hero or reset player. So we'll be doing a couple of things. Sequence node. First thing we'll do on reset is we'll give him a random color. So we'll get game mode, get random color, and set that so it'll be change color, and we plug the value. So reset does give him a random color. Now second thing we need to do is change his location, so let's make a variable for that, and we'll call it start location, which will be of type vector. Compile, save. Now for this, the values of this, we can select the player. These are the values, so it's 0070, so we can have it 0070. Compile, save. So every time he dies we will set his position to that location. So the second part of the code is set actor location, and we'll plug that start value. Now the third thing we need to do is set his movement mode, so he doesn't keep running or do fancy stuff which we don't want him to do. So we get a reference to character movement, set movement mode, and we're gonna have it as walking. Also we get reference to the mesh. We can connect this here before we forget. From mesh we need to get anim instance, which is cast to player anim, and we can set the variables in there. Is dead, set is dead to false, and also set is disappointed to false. Now why we are setting this to false, we'll see in a minute. So this part is done. Compile, comment. When restarting new gameplay. Okay, so that's for that. Now let's create two more custom events. One will be for when he misses the killer he's supposed to take, and one is when he takes the wrong one. So when he takes the wrong one, we will call a custom event, add custom event. We will call it death, or even better, on death. Alright, so what does it do? It takes the character movement and we disable input or disable movement, so he doesn't move. Next thing we'll do is get the mesh, get anim instance, sorry about that, get anim instance, this one, so it gets reference to this blueprints player, this NMBP, and we want to change the is dead to true, which will trigger this death animation, and for the next one we'll trigger the disappointment to true, so it will start this disappointment loop. So we cast to NMBP player and we set is dead to true. We're not getting it, we're gonna set it, so set is dead. Alright, and we can take this true, so we can comment it again and we'll call this when player hits wrong color, and we can take it to green, compile. Next is on disappointed, which is when he misses to take the color he's supposed to. So it will be the same thing, but instead of dead we will be enabling disappointed. So we can add custom event, call it on disappointed. We can copy this code, Control C, Control V, and for player we will set disappointment to true. Comment it again and we'll call it when player misses same color. Compile and save. So now we can go back to game mode and we can fix the start game and end game now. So for start game, let's drag it here as well, next to end game, so we have similar codes side by side to each other. So for start game we are gonna create a reset game function. Have we done it yet? No. So let's do that. Add custom event, reset game. So what reset game does is it sets the high score back to 0, I mean the current score to 0. Next thing it does is sets impulse back to 0, and we will call player and we'll call the reset player function we created. Comment this one and we'll call this reset game. As for color, it'll be green. So now for start game we have to change it a little. So we have the delay and spawn killer is fine, but before that we will call the reset. So between this and this we're going to call the reset game. So every time a new game starts, it resets it, so the variables are right. And now we can turn this to green since it's completed. Compile, save. So end game is there, reset game is there, and hopefully everything should work fine right now. So let's test. Before you test, make sure to save game always and play. So we have high score, killer, start. Okay, let me lose. Okay, so now this is coming proper, and if I play, he comes at the center, and we can now right now he didn't play the death or the disappointment, so let's do that. So where does that go? When killer hits, we have it in here, when killer hits player. So if this part here, this is where he fails to collect the right one, so the death will come here. So we'll have player, get player, death. And the disappointment is when, so we can turn this to green now because that's the end. That's fine now. And killer hits floor. So here we have end game. So this is when he's supposed to be disappointed. So we can drag from here, disappointed. And this one is green now as well. Compile, save, close this, save all, and let's test this. So now when he collects the wrong one, okay, he keeps looping for now because we have to go into, can select browse to asset in anim player, this death, it's loop animation, so we can take that off. So now he should play death animation once. So let's collect the wrong one. Okay, and now let's miss the right one. So again he sits and gets up fast. Let's keep him disappointed, but the rest is working. So for disappointment one, let's go in here, check what's happening here. It starts, disappointment loops, but we haven't connected the loop here. And disappointment is connected. Compile, save. So now if he misses the right color, he's gonna sit there disappointed till the next time you play. Alright, so that's basically most of the gameplay part done. In the next videos we'll have the save game, so we can save the high score, last score, and other stuff. So every time you restart the game, those variables are stored, and we'll add the finishing touches to the gameplay, as in the look and the final color and stuff. So see you there.